Yo, what's up? It's Laura Homeboy, and this video is about racism. Now, I need you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and do all that good shit. Share this video and all of that. Now, I was watching a clip of the Tyra Banks show where this black chick said she doesn't like black people because black people all act the same. She's half black and half white. Her dad must have been African or some shit because she was darker than me. If her mom was white, she was probably, I don't know, white, whatever the fuck. But I'm tired of people thinking that racism is a thing. It's not a thing anymore. Like, there are people who are racist, but racism is like disco, bro. Racism is like fucking, that shit's dead. It's alive because we keep it alive. It's alive because we make it real. Just like the president. Just like politics are dead. You know? And that's not me with my fucking, you know I'm not a conspiracist, but the man really doesn't give a fuck about that anymore. It's all about money. It's all about classism. The real people that make real decisions in this world, they don't care about what color you are. They care about how many people you can influence and your potential to move up, to go somewhere. I'm not a racist. All the shit that I've been through, I could be easily a fucking racist. I've always been a classist. Not even a classist. I don't judge people because of where they come from at all. I judge people based on their potential to move up and to change lives and to affect other people in a positive way. That's how I judge people. I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia. I've seen racism. A lot of my family are of two or more races. My grandmother, I was told a story where my great grandmother, when she found out that my great grandmother wasn't white, wasn't black. She was white, Asian, and Hispanic. Her family was from Spain. They moved to Cuba and to get to America, and I think her father was an Irish. I've heard Irish, I heard mostly Irish. I've heard Irish, I've heard Dutch, and I heard Swedish. We're gonna stick with Irish right now. So my grandmother was pregnant, and my great grandmother heard about this, and she heard about who she was pregnant by. My grandfather, who's black. He's black and he has Mexican in his family somewhere. And she cried. She cried, and this was in like 69, the end of 68. My mom was born in 70. And my grandmother was, she was really hurt by that. You know, my great grandmother was more upset about the fact that she might come out brown skinned like me. You know, that was their thing back then. Even classism, I don't even know if it's called classism, so I'm gonna stop using that word. But racism is not our thing. Being prejudiced is not a 90s. And this chick was born in the 90s. That shit was done after slavery was abolished. They didn't give a fuck about that shit after. They tried to segregate people, but they still came up and they still made millions of dollars and they still affected America in a positive way. That's all they really gave a fuck about. Really, I can't say that. The history of racism is rich in this country and rich all around the world. But racism, being prejudiced, all that shit, I'm trying to get the lighting right, bro. I'm not a fucking photographer. I need to study it a little bit more. But people saying this is probably the most racist thing besides you straight up saying all black people, do this, all black people do that, all white people smell like bologna sandwiches. I met this girl. I had a crush on her. I'm just recording. This fucking lighting's just really fucking with me. I met this. It's just distracting you and me. We'll just stick with right here. I met this girl. I liked her. She liked me. And we had a mutual like for each other since like day one. So I'm making my advances and talking to her basically. And she says, "You know what? I'm not attracted to black guys." I mean, whether you think that's racist or prejudice or not, that's some of the most racist material that I've ever heard in my life. That's saying if I said I'm not attracted to white girls, that's saying that there's no possibility that God could create a white woman that's either good enough for me physically, or just because you're white, you're automatically ugly. If you say that you're not attracted to a certain race, you're saying that nobody of that race is physically adequate. Nobody in that race can meet your fucking standards when it comes to attractiveness, and that you won't even consider their personality. Because, I mean, if you don't like wide noses, you don't like wide noses. You don't like big lips, you don't like big lips. You don't like brown skin, you don't like brown skin. But there's a part of you that's racist. And if you don't think that, or prejudice, not racism. Racism is when you think that your race is the superior race. Prejudice is when you prejudge something if you think that all people act a certain way because of how they look or where they come from. That's prejudice. All women from inner city areas are hood rats. That's being prejudiced. But it's not. It's all about the money. It's all about the green. That's the only color that fucking that matters right now. I am actually trying to bring myself away from racism and prejudice in this, because I am having an interracial baby, not a biracial baby. And the mother of my child, she said that I can't say shit like, "Oh, that's nigga shit," or "that's white people shit," or "that's Mexican shit." Because in all reality, I mean, I'm not trying to be like this, but to be totally honest, Mexican people are some of the most racist people I've ever met in my life, or the most prejudiced. And I'm gonna tell you why. I've had all Mexican friends at some point. I have 50 Mexicans in my phone, and I hung out with 10 of them on a regular basis, more than a couple times a month. But the ones that are racist and prejudiced, they'll act on it. They'll fucking tell somebody who speaks English that can translate that you are a monkey and you smell like shit. They'll fucking tell you, you could come to my house, but you can't use the bathroom. You gotta shit outside. You gotta piss outside. I don't even want to see you. You know, they'll fucking. I live down the street from some Mexicans. Every time, like 3 times, they will let their fucking dog off the leash out the house because they know they're gonna fucking attack you and possibly make you jump in the street if you're scared of dogs. I've yet to met a white person that'll do some shit like that. And I'm sure that that's not a Mexican thing. But most of my racism, not even most of it, a lot of the things that have been done to me strictly because of my race was from a Mexican person. Not even most of, in my face, more so. Making me feel uncomfortable, asking me things about my parents and my upbringing and my dad when we're at a social event, at a party, just chilling, you know. White people, they'll just stay the fuck away from you. Usually. Again, I'm trying to tell you not to do something I'm doing right now, and I apologize for that. But you gotta realize that everybody's the fucking same. We're all fucking human beings. Everybody thinks they invented some shit. Nothing is original. Just think about life as a big drug smuggle. You're trying to get this dope across the border or to a different state. There's no new way to fucking do that shit. You could make the coke out of fucking China dolls, you shape it into dolls and make it liquid form and put it in water bottles or whatever the fuck. There's nothing new. So the fact that Mexicans have a name for chopped up hot dogs, eggs, and cheese, niggas do that too. I've been doing that since way before I started hanging out with hella Mexicans. All this shit comes from poverty or just being creative people. You haven't seen anybody do something like that. That doesn't mean that it's automatically yours and nobody should ever do it. When I used to hang out with some of my Mexican friends, I used to inquire about the culture and recipes and shit like that. And they just didn't want black people enjoying their culture as much as they did. I go to a Korean store down the street from my house. That lady doesn't like black people. She made that store for her Korean brothers and sisters to enjoy their culture and to remind them of their home and their country. When I ask her about shit, when I try to, they have groceries as well as sushi, little pre-prepared chicken and shit like that. She always tried to get me to try the chicken and tell me I need to put hot sauce on it. I'm like, I don't even rock like that, bro. I know where I can get chicken. Whatever. I came here to get sushi, this and this and this. And every time I ask her a question about some shit, she rolls her eyes. She gives me attitude. I ask her for chopsticks and soy sauce. Give me attitude. I asked her about the sake and shit. She gives me attitude. And I'm spending hella bread and I stopped going there. Cause she's prejudiced. She doesn't like black people. She doesn't want black people enjoying her culture. That's ignorant as fuck. That's ignorant. If you're racist, you're ignorant. Of course. If you're prejudiced, you're ignorant. And that takes real energy. It takes real energy for you to be stupid and act on it. For you to wake up, okay, I still hate niggers. I still hate kikes. I still hate spics. Cause I'm me and I look like that's dumb, bro. So many things I would have missed out on in life if I wouldn't have hung out with so many Mexicans. I hung out with some black dudes when I first got where I lived, and they told me to stop hanging out with the Mexicans because they're going to get you in trouble. And you know what? They got me in trouble. They got me in financial trouble. I got pulled over with no license because they asked me to take them somewhere. They did me just as dirty as anybody else would because they figure, okay, he's black, he wants to hang out with black people only, and we're gonna give him that, and we're just gonna try to take advantage of him. Nah, that's just not how it is. So my point of this is, I don't judge people by where they come from, how they look. I judge you on where you're going and what I can see is going on in your mind. I don't care if you're from the hood. I don't care if you're from the fucking suburbs. I don't care. What are you doing with your life? How do you do it? And why do you do it? Racism, prejudiceness is dead. You need to get that fucking money. And don't fucking worry about what people look like. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody kills. Everybody steals. Everybody lives in poverty somewhere. Everybody's crazy. Everybody shot some shit up. Everybody loves the same. Everybody can give you what you need emotionally, no matter what. So all that racism shit is dead. Alright, I mean, so you already know because I said that shit like 10 times. But let me know how you feel. Let me know if you would like me to elaborate on anything. I probably could make a part 2 and 3 in a whole series on racism, a whole playlist. But that's probably not gonna happen. So like this video, share this video, let me know what you think, comment, all that shit. It's Lord Homeboy. Peace.